Number. What is number? A number is a mathematical concept used for counting, measuring, and labeling. Counting. This is the most fundamental use. Numbers allow us to quantify collections of objects, for example, 3 apples, 10 fingers. Measuring. Numbers are essential for expressing magnitudes of continuous quantities, like length, weight, time, or temperature. For example, 5 meters, 2 kilograms, 30 minutes, 25 degrees Celsius. Labeling, ordering. Numbers can be used to identify or order things without necessarily indicating quantity. Examples include phone numbers, house numbers, zip codes, or the sequence of pages in a book. Types of number. Number, complex number. It has 2 types, real number and imaginary number. Real numbers can be divided into 2 parts, rational number and irrational number. Rational numbers divides into integer and fraction. Integer divides into whole number and negative number. Fraction divides into proper fraction, improper fraction, and mixed fraction. Whole number divides into natural number and zero. Complex number. In mathematics, a complex number is the sum of real and imaginary numbers. It is expressed as z is equal to a plus id, where a and b are integer and real number, and I represents imaginary part, imaginary number. Examples of complex number. Some of the examples of complex numbers are 2 plus 3i, minus 2 minus 5i, 1 upon 2 plus I 3 upon 2. Real number. Any number that we can think of, except complex numbers, is a real number. For example, 3, 0, 1.5, 3/2, scratty to 5, and so on are real numbers. Imaginary number. Imaginary numbers are numbers that result in a negative number when squared. They are also defined as the square root of negative numbers. An imaginary number is the product of a non-zero real number and the imaginary unit I, which is also known as iota, where I is equal to under root -1 or I2 is equal to -1. Rational number. A rational number is a number that is of the form PQ, where P and Q are integers and Q is not equal to 0. Irrational number. An irrational number is a real number that cannot be written as a simple fraction. Let's take an example of rational and irrational number. Here we have a number 1.5, which can be written as 3 upon 2. On the other hand, we have pi number, which value 3.1415 and can't be written as p upon q form. In many cases, we take 22 upon 7 as the value of pi. Integer. An integer is a number with no decimal or fractional part, and it includes negative and positive numbers, including 0. A few examples of integers are -5, 0, 1, 5, 8, 97, and 3043. Fraction. Fractions in mathematics are represented as a numerical value, which defines a part of a whole. A fraction can be a portion or section of any quantity out of a whole, where the whole can be any number, a specific value, or a thing. Whole number. Whole numbers are those counting positive numbers that start from 0 and go on till infinity. For example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Natural number. Natural numbers are the numbers that are used for counting and are a part of real numbers. The set of natural numbers includes only the positive integers, i.e. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to infinity. Here are some other numbers, such as odd number. Odd numbers are numbers that cannot be arranged in pairs. In other words, all numbers except the multiples of 2 are odd numbers. For example, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, and so on. Even number. Even numbers are those numbers that can be divided into two equal groups or pairs and are exactly divisible by 2. For example, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on are even numbers. Square number. When an integer is multiplied by itself, the resultant number is known as its square number. Basically, a square number is a number that is obtained by the product of two same numbers. For example, 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to 4, where 2 are integer and same number. Cubic number. When an integer is multiplied by itself 3 times, the resultant number is known as its cube number. Basically, a cube number is a number obtained by the product of 3 same numbers. For example, 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5 is equal to 125, where 5 repeats thrice to give the product. Thank you for watching. For more videos, like and subscribe the channel.